AskReddit by an alligator. To those that live in Italy, how is the situation right now with coronavirus and lockdown? A girl finally said yes to me for a first date, a day before the lockdown. She lives in another region, so press F. Capital F. I'm a final year medic and I'm graduating on Thursday over Skype. Can you update us how that will go through? Are you going to wear the graduation robe and stand in front of your webcam? Is the certificate scroll acceptance going to be symbolized by you pressing F or any other alphabetical key on the keyboard? Is the valedictorian still going to give speech through Skype? Edit. For all that think and say only Americans do this, I'm not American. I'm from Asia. That's how bachelor's graduation ceremony goes in here. I am a doctor who works at one of the largest hospitals in Rome. The situation seems much worse than reported in the news. We are scared, but we continue to go to work for a sense of responsibility by turning. We do not have suitable safeguards for our protection, such as FFP3 masks. Us doc here. How are you guys responding to non-COVID problems? If so many resources are being allocated to this virus, I have to wonder if you guys are seeing a spike in mortality from things that are usually easily treated, that is cholecystitis, appendicitis, etc. Are you trying to do more temporizing measures such as IV antibiotics and percutaneous drainage tubes rather than doing full surgeries at this point in time? High school student here. Schools are simply closed and the TV is full of ads about washing your hands and avoid contact with other people. Edit. I forgot to say that each morning we have approximately 3 hours of video lessons from our laptop. Sounds fucking lit. Edit. Tie for all the upvotes. D. I'm a university student, and since last week we have been doing lessons via Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms. I don't really like these methods, but it's the only alternative, so there's a fair amount of psychosis between a big chunk of the population. Supermarkets have been raided overnight. We are advised to not leave our houses unless it's necessary, but you can fill a form on your own to certify that you need to go to work. So basically everyone is running around without a real examination of that form because literally anyone can do that. The only thing that has been really impacted by this is nightlife and sports, since every league of every sport is suspended until April. And X200B. Edit. Typos. In Hong Kong right now we're using a program called Zoom. We got hoarders here. There will likely be a baby boom in 9 months. Deleted. I have a daughter living in Serrano, but she works in Milano. She is housebound, on lockdown. Her courses are being done via Skype. Her employer has asked her not to come to work. She is not allowed to leave her house unless it is an emergency, which I hope never happens. She says there has been quite a bit of panic buying at the supermarkets. All the restaurants are pretty much empty, however they are allowed to be open between 6 AM and 6 PM. People who are seated should have at least a 1 m distance between them at restaurants. Tourist areas, Egg Duomo in Milano, are devoid of almost anybody. All school and universities remain closed. All sporting or any kind of events have been suspended. Ski resorts are closed. The same for cinemas, theaters, discos. All church services have been suspended. Whilst the measures may seem extreme, Italy has been the hardest hit worldwide besides Fortune. Are there reasons why restaurants are shut outside of 6:30 AM to 6:30 PM? I live in Verona. I'm a 19 years old living alone because my mother and my father took it in Milan, and for the first time I'm home alone for a month. Pretty nice though. I play GTA 5 with my friends like the old days, doing some indoor workout and experimenting with cooking. I'm becoming a good chef. The school is quite annoying but it's okay. I wake up at 7:30 and at 8 AM I start a 5 hours straight in front of my laptop for online lessons, and then I go cooking my lunch. I don't go out if not to buy some food and maybe some cigarettes because the situation it's not good. There is no space left in the intensive therapy, so if I get really sick, They would have to remove someone to save me since I would have better chance of surviving. This is why I almost never go out, once a week. I don't want to be the reason for someone's death. Okay, I wrote cocking twice, stop memeing at me, I'm Italian, okay? Quick, edit the word cocking before it's memed. For a couch potato like me it's awesome. I can watch my uni lessons online and in my free time play a fuck ton of video games or work out a little bit. Also I think we're allowed to leave and get some fresh air. So except for the deadly virus thing everything is okay. I live in Hong Kong so we had protests and the virus back to back. My university has been closed since mid-November. Sounds like hell to some people but I'm really enjoying it. I finally have time to mod Skyrim. It never ends. South Italy here. I'm waiting for the virus to spread as in northern Italy, if not worse. A lot of idiots rushed south to their mommy after the government declared the region of Lombardy a red zone, and here the people seems to not understand the situation. Yesterday morning there were a lot of people strolling around not caring about what's happening. Yesterday night the Prime Minister declared all Italy red zone, and a lot of people rushed to 24/7 stores to buy food. I decided to stay at home for at least a week. But my parents and the parents of my friends are going around the city like it's not their problem. There will be another infection peak here in the southern Italy in a few days. I agree, and when it happens we're screwed. We, at least here in Campania, just don't have the infrastructure to cope with something of the magnitude of what's happening in Lombardy. As an asthmatic, I'm crapping myself. Currently watching a university lesson from my bed but my father went to work this morning. I'm in a region where the lockdown started officially today so it's all pretty new. Let's hope people don't storm the grocery stores. Edit. Since a lot of people are mentioning it there's no news about shortage of toilet paper and, at least in my area, no assault on grocery stores. Edit 2. We can get out of our houses. We are asked to do so just for necessity like buying groceries. We have to have a good reason if we want to leave our town. Edit 3. Since people suggested me to do an AMA after all the question I'm receiving here you go being the first day of lockdown in Italy AMA UTM source equals share and amp UTM medium equals web 2x. Are banks closed? Sorry for asking a question here as I am not exactly answering yours OP. Are tourists allowed to fly out of Italy or are they supposed to stay in Italy until the lockdown is over? Edit. You Pinecone Sloth thanks for the award. Thanks everyone else for your comments. I asked this question because a colleague of mine flew in on Sunday with their family to northwest Italy for a week-long skiing holiday. They didn't want to lose the money so they went. I have been made aware that they are being sent back today itself and the rest of their trip was refunded. They are going to self-isolate for 2 weeks, but I do agree with the ones who mentioned about infecting others on their way home from the airport. Tourists can fly in and out freely. Basically, for the first time in history, I can save my life and potentially someone else's too by being a piece of shit laying on the couch all day watching Netflix and playing video games. Basic Italian uni student with bad English here. Basically in the past we used to cough to cover up a fart. Nowadays we fart to cover up a cough. Brilliant. We have an hashtag running on Twitter. Io sto a casa it basically means I stay home. People only travel alone and maintain a 1 meter safe distance. We have to change life habits drastically for 2 weeks to keep the virus from spreading. It worked in Wuhan, we hope it works here as well. Go to tell that to the thousands who returned to their families in the south as soon as the country was quarantined. Our area is in lockdown since Sunday. Life is still quite normal here, except for the lines at the grocery stores. We need a paper in order to travel from a city to another. You can travel for emergencies and for work. Got some extra food just in case. Get ready fellow European Redditors, this is not a joke. Had to go to work this morning in a desert city, felt post-apocalyptic in every means, empty stations, recorded warnings about the situation, etc. And despite wanting to rush thing at work to go back home I can't really get the right amount of concentration. I'm a high school student in Treviso, one of the biggest cities by number of infects, and right now it has become red zone. At first it was super fun because, school closed, less homework, online lessons done by teachers in pyjamas and listened to by students in pyjamas. But currently it's becoming also damn shitty. People are getting over paranoid, especially adults and overall older people. We are locked down in our province and people are getting fined just because they are getting out of their homes. Nobody talks about anything else. I can't see my friends anymore. My dad went skiing and is afraid to return to Treviso and overall social interaction is dead. There is nothing to do. Younglings are getting more and more bored and elders are getting more paranoid. Good thing there are a lot of ways to be entertained nowadays because it is a really shitty situation. I'm in senior year in high school. I don't know how it is in other countries, but here we have a final exam called maturity. Currently we are organizing with our teachers to do online classes, and we have like zero information on how it will be our maturity because of the time we are losing at home. School aside, there's an order from the government that says that all the further pointless outgoes will be sanctioned by police. But for me, being a teenager, this is not so bad. I play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, I do my homework, and I finally have some time to edit some videos or read the books I bought about video editing. It's quite brutal if you ask me, but I understand the situation and I will cooperate with what my government decided. Good luck with your maturity, my friend. Here in the Czech Republic the schools just got closed 2 hours ago. I'm a senior too, gonna be interesting to see how this plays out for us lol. Deleted. My heart goes out to you and your family. I'm from Mongolia, borders with China, and yes, we are an independent country, not China's autonomous region. We were under lockdown since early February and will be under lockdown until 2nd of April despite the fact that there have been no confirmed case at all. Every single kindergarten and schools have been closed down and I've been watching my classes through TV and ask for help on the subject from the teachers through Facebook Messenger. So far everything seems fine. Hope anything doesn't go wrong. Edit, of course. As soon as I post this, the first ever case in Mongolia has been confirmed. Fking jinxed myself. Deleted. Agreed. Although the government calls for social life shutdown, people find it more important to have dinner out or get coffees in crowded places. The worst thing about this virus is the people convinced of being immune to it. The press considers Milan a red zone and were preparing for shutdown, but it got leaked before actually being signed. So now a lot of people from the northern parts are fleeing to the southern parts, where many have homes in the countryside. I am not trying to be judgmental, but it is a lot more likely for them to have the virus, and considering how it may take up to 2 weeks for the symptoms to show, we do not know if they are actually ill. We are fucked. Also, our teacher got kicked from the Google Meet due to lag buffer and we've just been shitposting. It's pretty shit actually. I'm sophomore and I feel like it will be really hard to catch up, because we will have barely a month of actual school left. Moreover, the lockdown is causing severe economical issues, especially to those who own small businesses such as restaurants, clothing stores etc. A lot of these activities will go bankrupt, because they have close to no customers. However, I think the only thing we can do is contain the infection, so the lockdown is necessary. This will be the biggest problem of the aftermath of COVID-19. The macro and micro economy will be a fucking mess. It already began the down spiral. Someone from Italy went to Malta carrying the virus. Malta is that dot of land you see beneath Italy. Schools weren't stopped yet though they should be, and Malta only has 12 beds ready for the virus and I'm worried it's too little. I know a family that is stuck in northern Italy. They can't get out of the city no matter what. It's their fault though. They were stubborn and thought the corona outbreak would allow them to save some money, but now they can't come back. SMH. I'm Air Force stationed in Pisa. I was thinking my drive to work this morning would be quiet after the lockdown. Nope. Cars on the roads like normal and saw flights taking off from the airport. Not sure how people are flying unless it's within the country. Aviano's closed down its schools for 3 weeks, and a bunch of non-essential commodities are closed on base. Pretty much everyone, including the teachers, still has to go to work, though. Movie theaters are closed, gyms and pools too. I've been depressed all my life, plus I work from home so I know how to handle all of this, but I worry that many other people won't know what to do with themselves. I live in an area where a lot of older people live, mostly pensioners, and I was thinking about asking them if they need help with getting groceries. Many restaurants have resorted to delivering food at home, except my favorite one. I know the owners and they told me that things are looking grim right now. I have a friend who's a waiter at a restaurant and he won't be going to work for a while, but they obviously won't pay him his full salary, so I don't know how that will go either for people in the same situation. The most frightening thing is going to be the economy. Not only stock prices, but all the small businesses that survived and that support small communities. My parents own a big electrotechnical company, but their biggest clients are the government, airports and big corporations that now don't allow anyone inside. It's looking pretty bad and the worst is yet to come according to academic studies. Yes, also consider that the Italian economy relies disproportionately on SMEs compared to most other large economies. How can a small company weather this kind of storm? What about their employees? The short-term concern is health of course, but long-term this is going to be disastrous for our already wobbly economy. Hi from Abruzzo. Home with a 4-year-old, whose school has been closed for a week, and a newborn. My partner does go out to work in the office. He shares it with one other person. We found out we're not in the worst place for a lockdown, in terms of going outside. We live in the middle of a national park, so we can go out in many different places without meeting anyone. I just made a plan with my son for things to do and learn the next couple of weeks, like riding a bike, reading, learning to dress himself. He seems to not mind the not going to school part. He's just a bit sad that he can't meet other kids. Yesterday they were playing outside, but you could tell something had changed, even before the government announced lockdown in our part of the country. At least things are more clear now. People were still meeting but not really sure about it. Now they have clear guidelines. I am worried, but now mostly for my family in the Netherlands, where the virus has just begun to spread. They are downplaying the situation there. My father literally said, "Well, I have to die of something." No. Ma. Italian here. I'm an high schooler and we are now attending online lessons. Since yesterday evening, all Italy is in quarantine. In the past days we've had some regions locked. Now the whole country had to use more precautions because we need to delay the epidemic peak as much as possible. Many people are still fucking dumb, going to parties etc, but the most of us understood how critical it is to follow the rules. Personally, my life hasn't changed much, since I'm a med student who mainly stays at home, studying. I can't, of course, see my girlfriend. I can't go out in the weekend, but I'm not doing this just for me. Also, there's a silver lining ammo. Old school teachers are modernizing and students will benefit from this in the long run. Many people are starting to understand how important it is to wash their hands. You get to clean up your Facebook friends list just by reading what they share. Deleted. It's been 15 days since I last left the house. The teachers are sending us homework. I still have to study equals. Deleted. Everything is in lockdown. You can't move without a valid reason. This wouldn't have happened If it weren't for all those stupid people who kept traveling even though they were explicitly told not to. There are many infections caused by this. Literally, sick people escaped from quarantine to go back to their native town. Also, the other day as soon as the first red zones, no traveling from to those zones, were announced, the train stations of those zones were full of people running away. It's surreal how stupid people can be. Same thing happened in Wuhan. As soon as people got wind of a mandatory quarantine of the city, a bunch of people fled, spreading the virus even more. It's not so good. I hate and love this. I'm from Milan. I'm stuck at home with 2 brothers and my dad who is working from home for like 2 weeks. Most of the time I have to attend online lessons from my uni. Yesterday a police car drove through the neighborhood with a megaphone warning citizens to stay home unless for emergency situation. It felt like we were in some sort of stereotypical post-apocalyptic movie. A question. How is the food situation handled? Can you go to the supermarket? Did you have to get supplies beforehand? Yes, you can go to the supermarket. There's some documents people are supposed to print and fill out in order to justify their movements, work, emergencies or necessities. People are starting to stock up on things quite a bit too. Could be worse in my region, Sardinia. There aren't any officially confirmed cases in my town, but I still am not gonna risk it. The only shitty thing is that yesterday our PM forbid every type of crowding indoors and outdoors. I don't know if that's the right word, and strongly advise not to leave our houses unless it's a necessity. And today it's my birthday lol. Buon compleanno, dear internet stranger.